Swaddy Cup, Ricky in Isan, coming to you from my brew barn, my little village estate. I've been learning a thing or two about bananas, so time to cut it down. So from what I've seen online, you want to cut it out here. Jeez, that was easy enough. So what am I going to do with a great big banana tree? Well, digging around on TikTok, found a little bit of a solution. So, the inside of a banana tree, probably why the ants are there, full of water, full of nutrients. You can actually cut it up to little pieces and pop it around other plants. It will feed those plants a bit of water and the nutrients, kind of like a watery fertilizer. That's what I've learned on TikTok. So let's cut this bad boy up. So I've got the stalk, the trunk, even though a banana tree is a type of grass, it's not actually a tree. The banana leaves, not too sure what we'll do with the banana leaves. I'll see what my wife thinks. Some restaurants and that will put the banana leaf in like the tray when you order a food. Obviously we don't sell food. I don't actually like it, but I suppose having your kapow on top of a banana leaf actually is reducing the amount of microplastics you're consuming, isn't it? It's actually a good idea now that I think about it. So from what I'm seeing, you can pop these on the floor down next to plants and the nutrients and water will feed into the plants. The knife's probably not super clean, but I've been told this is edible. It's just like a flavourless, almost like a watermelon. Let's try it out. Kind of like a cucumber. I can't say I'd be rushing to buy this. Garbage pile over here. That's all chopped up. Bag it up, I'll be with nappies next week for the garbage man. Got a couple of these stalks which I'll cut up in half like that. Sort of pop them around the papaya trees, maybe try and pop them around some of the smaller trees, but it's a bit harder. And then it's to figure out what happens here. This is the part I don't fully know. So, unsure if this is the one that will grow back or if it'll be one of these pups. So these are called pups. We've got 1, 2, 3. Generally you'll keep sprouting pups, and it's up to you to pick the main one. If you have multiple, banana sprouts growing, it takes away like the energy and your tree won't do as well. Whether or not we'll be here in this house when this banana produces fruit again, I don't know. But how's this for a bit of a farming itch for a city boy, a boy living in Muang, Chayapum? Oh, I'd love a few more banana trees. I don't think the papaya involves as much work. I think you just cut the fruit off once that becomes a nice big papaya. But eventually we will own a house. We, as in my wife and me, we're married before someone tells me you can't own. And I can do a lot of these things, can't I? I love the farming, mate. So I'll put the stalks just around the papaya trees. These papaya trees are pretty mature, you'd say. This one's still got a bit to go. I don't really need it, but it's good use, eh? That will just dry and shrivel up, and I'll pop it in the bin. Probably in a couple of days' time, I'll pop these two in here. Gives it a bit of protection from the sun. You only get the morning sun here, and a bit of moisture. It is getting hot now. Starting tomorrow, 37. I think today's 35. Not a huge difference. But tomorrow, 1st of March, 37. And then I think all next week, 38, 38, 38. So they flick the switch and hot season's here, isn't it? So it'll be blow up pool time for the twins, and hopefully they clean the Muban pool too and I can go for a swim every morning. I was worried too, cutting a banana tree, if it was going to fall over next door. But no one actually lives here, so it's not a big deal. Oh geez, all the papaya tree remnants are there. And that's had me thinking too. This house actually got repossessed by the bank, so it was a couple who got divorced, and once it gets settled, they'll put a document up the front, I've been told. with, you know, the bank's asking price. Usually you can get good deals this way. I was just thinking, we can't rent forever. Do we have a go, depending on the price? Some of these houses in moo barns, they're just way over the top. A house like this, you could build for under $1 million baht, the actual house, because of the land, because of the location, it will cost more. It's a really good build too, because obviously we've got the same house. There's no cracks, there's no issues, and I've lived in a Thai house before and had issues. So they're really good builds. You got all the, you know, the outside patio stuff, which I love, which you need. I'd love to see the price, and who knows, you know, for that price, for a 900,000 baht house, I could rent for 10 years, and that's not taking into account inflation, the rent going up. So I'll put it about 10 years, or yeah, rent for 10 years and you've wasted the money where you could have built a house, eh? I think, you know, I'd prefer to live in a village, not a moo barn forever. But this would have good potential for renting and that, because we saw this house shared in a Chaipoon rental group, and the demand people wanted for this house, but we just managed to get it, eh? So if you could maybe pay half, get half on a mortgage or finance, and then the rent will just cover it and pay it off, wouldn't it? It's an idea. I guess I'd see if they ever post the price out the front, so it'd just be, yeah, identical to what we're living in here, eh? I think we could do it. I think we could just do it. Obviously, I've got an asset here which I could sell to take away further risks, take away a mortgage. But yeah, I think it'd be being the location. It's in the city, like 5 minutes from the actual hustle and the bustle. It'd be not a bad little investment, and having that for when you're older, once it's all clear, there's no debts, and you've got an income coming in every month, don't you? So who knows? Those are, yeah, repossessed houses. You get some good deals. And then I've got the other option, of course, which I'm thinking about at the moment. I'll discuss that on a bike ride, but really considering, because we're having issues with this house, I'm not too sure if we'll be here for the entire lease. Could it be time to build? We'll have a chat about that. One like that, eh? That's yeah. I guess like the twins' house, eh? That's what's on my mind also. If we went to buy an established house, build something. Bit busy for here. And there's a few reasons for it. We're now having issues with the current place. I'm not going to get into that. It's nothing on our end though. Fantastic house to live in. Which is why you almost consider buying one if the price was right, but I think the price would be a touch high for us. And then the other option is building. So building a house similar to what the twins have. And this is something that's probably been on my mind for 6 months since we went to a housewarming party. I went to a housewarming party in my wife's village for a family member. 3 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, nice outdoor area, under $1 million baht. And having lived in one of these types of houses before, I could see the quality was superior too. Look at this old thing. It's pretty cool. It's probably going to happen anyway, isn't it? Where we're going to buy or build eventually. And I don't want my girls, my twins, jumping school to school. So later this year, probably right at the end of this year, even January next year. And I can do it earlier. It may seem worth doing earlier. Popping the twins into like a kindergarten, into a nursery. I want them to grow up and go to school with that same clique around them, that same group of friends. I've heard stories of kids who go to school in the city here and lived in my wife's village, and then they just didn't have any friends in the village. My wife, she owns land, so we've got land where we can build on. We're strictly talking the cost of building. By building, it secures my girl's future. Now, there's other things, you may worry about me as a foreigner, there's other things we can do to safe hold and all that. If anything happens in life, I've been through it already, haven't I? But if we were to build a place for 800, 900,000 baht, stay debt free, and then, I mean, it gives us an opportunity to be involved in the farming with the parents, with my in-laws, which I'm telling Rung to you, I'm telling my wife, let's start doing it more, because they need help. We're not that far, 20 minutes away. And it's great content for the YouTube as well, doing all the farming and things I can learn. Obviously, I can't work on the farm, but there's bits and pieces I can help with, particularly when my wife owns the land. We will explore that this year, and it may be that my channel becomes a building channel, which is quite popular with foreigners, and it's quite amusing to read all the experts as well. But that's definitely what I'm considering at the moment, because we need a place, we need our own place, we need a place we can live the rest of our life at, we need a place for the twins, and then there's another factor as well. Of course, me and Rung Tiwa would want to have a child together as well. It'd be very hard to do it out here in the city. 3 kids, being close to that support, and her family is wonderful. I'm not saying, the twins' family is not wonderful, but her family is wonderful, and there'd be no issues living nearby and getting that support and help, which I think would be wonderful. Been talking to a builder, the guy who built that house, because being related to family, you're essentially getting family rates. The house we went to see for a housewarming party would go for about 1.5 million, but they got it. Their budget was 800,000. They got it for 900,000. So if I could keep it under $1 million, I reckon, depending how exchange rates and that keep going, it could be worth just locking it in. And then there's the other factor as well. Right now, no one's building. I mean, Falungs are building, but Thai people aren't building. 2025 is a good year to build. The Thai baht's doing very well, but Thais are not doing very well. A lot of houses are getting repossessed. People are struggling business-wise. So if you can do it, it probably makes sense to do it. Builders are sitting around looking for work. The longer you wait, the costs just keep going up, don't you? If I wait 5 years, I wait 10 years, suddenly it's not possible to do it for under $1 million baht, is it? So it's on my mind, and I'm going to talk more in depth with this guy. Well, I have spoken some things in form, like if I wanted a tile roof, just briefly had a chat. A tile roof, if we were to mimic this other house we looked at, a tile roof probably adds 20-30%. The structure's up higher, different materials. But I just think the number one thing is locking in a future, a place you can live for the rest of your life. No rent, no landlord doing your head in. Locking my twins in, mate. We're building that village. I want them to go to school in that village. I've already decided I'll go to school in that village because, I mean, I look at my wife, she's quite intelligent. She's got a university degree, and she did nursery, she did her primary, elementary school, whatever you call it, in that village, and then come to the city for high schooling. Or public schooling, government schooling. I've previously spoke about how my twins could easily do Australian schooling online. That's an option. They can do Aussie high schooling if I decide it's better than going into the city, eh? Step one as a father, step one for my daughter, step one as a family, is doing that. And I could really see myself, maybe business ideas and things I'm doing fail. Bits and pieces we do to generate income aren't making enough. Once my girls started primary school, so you'd be talking 5-6 years old, obviously we'd already have a place. I'd probably look at FIFO then. Not necessarily for us to survive. It's not hard to survive here. The FIFO thing would be for those investments, and it probably wouldn't be Chai. It'd probably be a bigger city, maybe even Bangkok, maybe even Korat, a place to rent out, an income for later on in our life. But that's all a long way away. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm sure this will be a touchy subject regarding building a house this year. To be honest with you, my hand's on the trigger. It's just whether or not I pull the trigger, and there's a lot of talks and stuff to do with a builder before then. And I think it's just very lucky and very unique that this guy can give us essentially family rates. And he's not just a part-time builder either. He's got a dedicated business to it with engineers and suppliers all lined up. So yeah, I've been through it before. The twins' house, obviously, and the headaches that come through it all. So at least I'm experienced in that sense. It's just when I saw that house, when we went to that housewarming party last year, mate, and saw that house, and I was just blown away. 2 living rooms, essentially. One's going to be a big barber shop, but you could make that another living room. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 900,000 baht. And it was just the quality. Maybe we go have a look for a video if the aunt or whatever will let me have a look inside. It is their house after all. Alright, everyone, tried something a bit different as well with the video, so I'm hoping the video looks a bit crisper as well with the movements. And for those of you after more fatherhood content, check out the Lily Daisy channel, which I think I will rename because people are struggling to find it. It's entire riding, but I've got some ideas in my head. Falang Father, Dad in Isan, and the channel is doing very well. With the recent videos, I've changed the format up a bit. Similar to this, but it's about fatherhood, it's about raising my daughters. Anyway, hope you're well. It's hot, and it's going to get hot now, so if you're in Thailand, stay cool, and see you guys in the next one. Bye now.